Hey there, how are you today? My name is Dana Damara, and you have landed on Astrocast. This is your monthly report for July 2024. Now, I have so many things I want to share with you, and the first thing I want to share is that those of you who know me, you know I'm not the type of person that looks up the astrology for the day and then goes about their day. I'm more just like, do your day, and then if it's interesting to you, see how the stars are aligned, or have a general understanding of what's happening throughout the year so you can kind of harness the energy. Well, today I decided to look at the astrology just for fun, and it's such a beautiful day. Pretty much all blue lines, harmonious lines everywhere. The only disharmonious line that we have happening right now is Pluto opposing Mercury. So I mean, if you are not enjoying yourself today, please do something to change it, because all the energy in the astrology is asking us to be in joy. Which brings me to July. Okay, so July is a pretty magical month. And again, I don't, sugarcoat or spiritually bypass, use astrology as this Pollyanna way of looking at life. When it's a shit show, for lack of a better phrase, I'll tell you. But I'm telling you right now that the energy for July is really powerful. Now, it's not without its little, its little mishaps, our little reviews, moments of pause, right? But that's life. So it's one of the most magical months, first of all, because we have a conjunction with Sirus. So the sun is sitting with Sirus, and it's what we call in astrology the Sirus Gateway. So the Sirus Gateway happens between July 2nd and the 7th, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing with Sirus Gateway. That could be a whole podcast all in and of itself. But what I will say is that, to some, Sirus is known as our spiritual sun, and it actually gives off more light and more energy than our sun in our solar system. And so it's thought to have much more higher frequency, much more ability to love, to experience compassion, all those higher frequency emotions. And because it aligns with the new moon in Cancer, it makes it that much more powerful. So those intentions that you set with the new moon are just like sprinkled with a little bit of, think of it as like fairy dust, if you will, fairy dust being sprinkled on your intentions. It is a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time to forgive. It's a beautiful time to love. It's a beautiful time to find compassion. It's a very soft, loving, powerful energy. I don't want to sound like Pollyanna. So if when I say that, that's not resonating for you, if you're like, whatever, I'm having the worst time right now, my invitation to you is to seek out one thing that brings you joy, just one, and see if it can start a chain reaction, if you will. Anyway, I said I wasn't going to do a whole podcast on Sirus Gateway. I'm not going to. So that's just one of the biggest highlights. It also, think about it this way too. If we are trying to move into a higher frequency, whether it's in deeper relationships or optimistic thinking or whatever it is, sometimes old things have to give way, right? Like old relationships, old thought patterns, old ideas. And so sometimes this energy of Sirus Gateway shows up in that way as well. This month also brings the second full moon in Capricorn, and I'll go over that in a second. So let's just start off with dates, because I have a lot to cover. July 2nd is the sun squaring the lunar nodes. Now, those of you who've done astrology readings with me, you know that the lunar nodes are not planets. Okay, the lunar nodes are points on the zodiac wheel. Okay, and the sun conjuncting, or the sun squaring the lunar nodes, gives us an opportunity to look back at some of the karmic work that we've been doing, either consciously or unconsciously. And of course, when I say look back at the karmic work that you've been doing unconsciously, some of you are going to be like, I have no idea what I've been doing. And that's okay. But maybe look back if you journal along new moons, right? Look back in like March or April, new moon, and look at what you were intending or what you were working on. And some of that work is now coming to fruition. Kind of cool. Neptune also goes into retrograde. Now, Neptune's going to go into retrograde on the 2nd. It's going to join Saturn and it's going to join Pluto. Okay. Now, Neptune in retrograde, Neptune is the dreamer, full of imagination, can see things at a deeper level. I like to think of like Uranus as the planet of higher mind thinking, right? These divine inspirations. And Neptune is like the depths. Now, there is one caveat to Neptune thinking that way and being that way, is that sometimes Neptune likes to play little tricks and we get disillusioned. So when Neptune goes into retrograde, remember when planets are in retrograde, they're just asking us to slow down our thinking. That's all they're doing, right? Within that particular sector, if you will. So with Neptune in retrograde, it's asking us to really pay attention to maybe where the veil is being lifted on some illusions that we have about ourselves, illusions that we have about others, illusions that we have about a situation, right? Just get really to the heart of the matter, to the truth. It can also inspire more creativity. So if you've been trying to be creative with something and you've been kind of stuck, Neptune in retrograde may help. You just have to see. And Neptune will be retrograde till December 7th. So we've got lots of time. July 2nd, also, this is a big day, July 2nd, Mercury enters Leo. So Mercury's going to enter Leo. And, every time, Mercury is the planet of communication. And whenever a planet enters in a zodiac sign, it just takes on that energy. And this is the energy of love. Leo is the energy of love, of heart chakra, energy of passion, of devotion. So just be mindful of that. Maybe say how you feel. Be a little vulnerable, perhaps. It's also a good time to ask your heart what it wants. Like, what does my heart really want in this moment? Not what does my mind think I need to do, but what does my heart really want? And then again, Sirus Gateway. Okay, so Sirus Gateway, 2nd through the 7th, the highest point of Sirus Gateway is July 4th. So this is a big, beautiful energy that's aligning with the new moon in Cancer, bringing me right to the new moon in Cancer on the 5th. So we've got Sirus Gateway, highest point, highest frequency, July 4th, and then the Cancer new moon on the 5th. And this is a beautiful, beautiful new moon. It's just Cancer is very sensitive. Cancer is very loving. Cancer is very, very sensitive on the inside and kind of hard-shelled on the outside, right? So this is an energy that's asking us to soften the way we look at the world and maybe at ourselves. Maybe we're the ones we have to be a little bit kinder to. On the 6th of July, Venus will square Chiron. And Chiron is pretty active this month, I have to say. It goes into retrograde at the end of the month, but before then, it's got some things going on here. So Venus in Cancer will square Chiron. Now, this is all, it has to do with matters of the heart. It has to do relationships, and it has to do with money. That's Venus, okay? So this energy can help take our healing to a new level. It can also ask us to pay a little bit more attention in those energies. Yay, Venus in Leo, July 11th. So Mercury in Leo, Venus in Leo. Venus enters Leo on July 5th, and this is all about channeling and having fun and being playful and being loving and being full of joy and just, the thing with Venus in Leo, the thing with Leo in particular is that Leo kind of gets a bad rap of being dramatic and wanting to be the center of attention. But I think if we can remember that Leos always lead with their heart, Leos always want love, Leos always want, they just want to have fun with their friends, really, truly, we can kind of even soften our edges around how we interpret Leos. I'm a Leo. Kind of like I like to plug Leos for that situation right there. July 11th, also Sun trine Saturn. Okay, so a trine is a very positive aspect. Okay, it creates progress, it creates harmony, and so when the Sun trines Saturn, keep in mind Saturn's in retrograde. Think of it this way. If you're working on a project, if you're trying to be disciplined about something, if you are trying to get things completed, this is a really beautiful time where you might get hit with the answer you've been looking for, or the block that you've been experiencing might, mysteriously come to you. So just be mindful of that. It's a good day to use the brain. Venus will oppose Pluto. So Pluto is a interesting one. Pluto wants you to be empowered, but Pluto doesn't want you to engage in power struggles. Let me say that again. Pluto wants you to be empowered, but Pluto doesn't want you to engage in power struggles. Pluto wants you to be empowered. So when Venus is opposite Pluto, this is when, again, Pluto, empowerment, disempowerment, power struggles, opposing relationships, money, love, what we value, how much we value ourselves. So this is dropping you out of your ego and into your heart, period. I said Chiron's active. Okay, so on the 15th, Sun is going to square Chiron. So this is going to bring it's going to almost think of the Sun as a reflector, right? So the Sun is squaring Chiron, and this is going to begin offering you the opportunity to reflect upon any kind of healing that you've done since December. I think it's kind of in our culture to be on a healing journey. I talk to so many people and they're like, I'm on this healing journey and I'm just, I have to not talk to anyone. I have to do this, I have to do that. But I think sometimes we forget two things. One is that healing doesn't need to be just so hard. It can be actually easy and joyful. The other thing is that we have to kind of applaud ourselves when we do make breakthroughs in a healing. Because, why else are we doing it? To just peel back another layer and then realize that there's another thing that we have to heal? That's I don't know. I don't want to live my life like that. I want to live my life where I'm celebrating how far I've come every now and again, right? So just keep that in mind. July 20th, Mars is going to move into Gemini. So Mars in Gemini, this is going to I want to go out and I want to do all the things. I want to be super social. Mars is this activator and Gemini is all over the place. So just be mindful to have some discernment around what you choose and how you choose to spend your time. And then on the 21st, we have the Capricorn full moon. So the Capricorn full moon, remember June 21st was the first Capricorn full moon, and now we're revisiting a Capricorn full moon. So anything that you were paying attention to or working on or anything like that, that's going to come around for you, and I'll do a report on that. On the 21st as well, Mercury square Uranus. Okay, so lower mind squares higher mind. So we've got this, I don't want to say clash. That's the only thing I could think of. We've got this clash between the lower mind and the higher mind thinking. So because it is a 90-degree angle. So we're trying to take the higher mind initiatives and inspiration that comes through us and actually bring them down to earth, right? We get some sort of divine inspiration and we say to ourselves, well, how am I supposed to do that? I don't have time. I got to fold the laundry. So don't push those higher mind inspirations away. Don't let the lower mind get in the way, but also be practical. Okay, guys, July 22nd, Leo season. Whoop, whoop. Leo's known to be proud and dramatic and, all about me. And can we just remember that Leo is about higher octave love? Leos, for the most part, see everyone as love. The downfalls of Leo is that they think everybody feels the same way, but they don't. Sun's going to try Neptune on the 22nd. Super magical, you guys. Remember what I said about Neptune? It's still in retrograde on July 22nd. So be mindful. Creative, imagination, allow your imagination to go crazy. Just pay attention. And then on the 23rd, Sun is opposing Pluto. So again, Pluto is transformation. So asking yourself, where have I transformed? What have I transformed? Maybe it's something simple like your diet. Maybe it's something internal, like the way you view you in the world around you. Mercury in Virgo is on the 25th. I love when Mercury's in Virgo. It feels like when Mercury's in Virgo, the smaller details get taken care of. It's like everything just kind of falls into place. And then to close out the month, Chiron is going to go into retrograde. Now, there's so many astrologists that I know that don't necessarily pay a lot of attention to Chiron. And I need to say that Chiron is so freaking important. Chiron is your wound. Chiron is the asteroid, the planet that the placement of where your deepest wounds are. And to know your Chiron is to love your Chiron. So all I'm saying that this is a really beautiful time to kind of revisit any places where you've healed and just like love on yourself. I don't know off the top of my head how long Chiron is in retrograde, but just use this time to be able to take care of yourself and nurture yourself. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I am very much looking forward to July. It's going to be a beautiful month. Stay tuned for the new moon forecast. In the meantime, have a gorgeous day. Namaste.